Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, is it audible? Because your speaker is not showing. Ma'am. Hello.
దుర్గేష్ మేడం లైన్ లో ఉన్నారు, జస్ట్ వెయిట్ చేయండి, జస్ట్ 1 minute.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Hello. Good morning, madam.
Good morning. Till now, you people didn't hear my voice. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. I am saying hello. 5 minutes. You people didn't hear my voice, or now only you have joined.
No,
It's
ma'am.
okay, whatever it is.
Actually, your speaker was not showing, ma'am.
Okay. That means I would have not plugged well, I think so. So, okay. Good morning to every one of you. You said good morning. I didn't respond to it. Okay. Okay, then now we'll do. Okay. Yesterday, where we have stopped, anyone can recollect?
Standards of good quality water.
Standards of good quality water. Okay, very good. Who are all there? And what is our name? Bhargavi is there? She has joined?
Bhargavi, I think.
Bhargavi?
Yeah. Hi, Bhargavi, no, ma'am?
Yes, she is there, ma'am.
Okay, because I have forwarded some slides to her, she will forward to you all. Actually, I am facing some problem that and wherever I have inserted some pic, those slides have corrupted. So whenever I have to explain about the pic, I will go to the board and I'll explain on it. Okay. Sorry to say all of you.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now we will discuss about what are the standards of good quality water. Actually, different department people like State Pollution Control Board, Central Pollution Control Board, some NGOs, ISO, WHO, each and every people, they have their own standard. They have developed. There is not much difference, but anyhow, we can say 5 to 10% variation is there in the standard level of different organization. But anyhow, water standard, when it is considered in India, people are generally consider all people's data. In general, they have considered with ISO and WHO in a higher level, and normal people, school level, and some sort of small organization, they have considered local standards like State Pollution Control Board and some NGOs. They have standardized something. They have compared like that and giving the standard. But when it comes in the higher level, worldwide quality standards, ISA and WHO is predominating to compare the water quality standard. And beyond that, APHA means anything. Anybody knows what is that? APHA?
No, ma'am.
Okay, American Public Health Association. They also have their own standard they have developed. Whatever the water quality parameter we are analyzing, those analytical method developed by this APHA people only, that method only throughout the world people are following. At the same time here also, many authors, many scientists, many researchers, many organizations have developed many methods for analyzing physiochemical characters and biological characteristics of water. But in general, majority of them and probability based or statistical based APHA standard or APHA method only people are following for analyzing the water and wastewater characteristics. Could you follow me? Or my voice is not audible?
Yes, ma'am. Follow, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
good. Okay, so based on that, the ISA standard they have given on your book, each and every standard, if you want me to explain, I will explain. Otherwise, simply we'll jump. It is up to you people. This is for knowledge only. And they may ask the question, what is the water characteristics or physiochemical characteristics of water, or how to do the water analysis, and what are the physical chemical characteristics, or they sometimes they will ask what is biological characters and microbiological characters. But for everything the same answer is the same one. Or how will you do the different test of water, or how describe about the water quality standards, something in a different way they will have, but the answer is same. You understand? Okay, no one is responding means no one could understand, I think so.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am, we understood, ma'am. Because every time we have to unmute and answer, ma'am. That's why the time.
Yes, yes, that's all. That much is enough. Then I can go ahead. Otherwise, I have to start explaining again. Okay. Water quality standards, it is being categorized in a different way. Already, as I told you yesterday, that is physiochemical characteristics. And that means physical and chemical characteristics and biological characteristics. These three are very important. Physical characteristics in terms of color. What could be the physical characteristics? Please tell me.
Ma'am, color of the water, odor.
Yes.
Color of the water, odor of the water, taste of the water.
Very good. Then turbidity also. Whatever you said, it is correct only. Very good. So physical appearance of water are called physical characteristics. Physical appearance of water, what are the characteristics? It could be color, taste, odor, and turbidity. More than that, nothing could be considered in physical characteristics. And what are the chemical characteristics? This is critical.
Chemical is hardness or pH.
pH, ma'am, pH, hardness.
Then
If any bacteria is present or not, we can test.
That is biological characteristics. Okay, good.
Biological characteristics.
Yesterday we have seen something. No, I told you.
Presence of oxygen, ma'am.
Okay, then.
pH.
Then. None of your classmates are from industries. Because industrial people mean our water and wastewater department people. Anyone is there in the group now? No. Okay, no problem. Actually, water characteristics, when we are considering in chemical basis or chemical characteristics, the first and foremost parameter is pH. From the pH itself, the water can be decided whether it can be used for domestic application or human application or not, from that point itself. If too much acidic water or too much alkaline water cannot be used. If too much acidic water means what could be the problem will come, and if it is too much alkalinity means what are the problem will come if he uses.
Ma'am, first it will not be used for drinking or other purposes. If it is acidic or more basic, both is the problem.
Yes. So from the pH itself, it can be decided that the water can be potable or not.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, Yeah.
Seven.
Sometimes they will ask you in interviews and exams. So what is the potable water pH? If the water pH, they will give the ranges in a scale. If the water pH is like that, mean which pH level water can be used for human consumption? Then you
Ma'am, 7. Ma'am, 7.
7 is neutral. Okay, neutral water cannot be used as of me. It's supposed to be little acidic or little alkaline. It should not be purely neutral. Neutral water means what? H plus OH minus ions are equal. Suppose if you want to absorb something or it's supposed to dissolve something, means there must be a gap to absorption, no? People are telling that neutral water can be used, but scientifically it is problematic to the human being. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So 6.5 to 8.5.
Yeah, we can use like that. No issue at all. It's supposed to be little acidic and a little alkaline is okay. Too much acidic or too much alkaline, and it should not be neutral also. But people are telling that rainwater people are consuming earlier days. Okay, one by one I will come. So when we are considering the chemical characteristics of water, the foremost parameter is pH. By seeing the pH itself in the water could be rejected or it can be decided to use. Okay. Next to that, when we are considering for domestic water supply, hardness is an important parameter. Based on the hardness only, the initial treatment will be decided. Then followed by some oxygen content. The oxygen based on the oxygen content also it can be assumed that whether the water is contaminated with any pathogenic or organic pollution or not, we can decide. Beyond that, when we are coming into the water quality standard, a very, very important parameter to be analyzed or chemical oxygen demand, which is being called COD, and the biological oxygen demand, which is being denoted as BOD, along with the dissolved oxygen, whatever I said 3 minutes before. And beyond that, then we have to consider about the chlorine content. Chlorine is very, very important. Why the chlorine is very important? Anyone, can you tell me? Any one of you can tell me? Why the chlorine is very important?
Ma'am, for disinfection the water.
Yeah. Chlorine is a component which are being used for giving the disinfection. Okay, that is being called as disinfectant. But disinfectant means what? Anyone can define? What is meant by disinfectant?
Ma'am, to free from germs and
bacteria.
Bacteria and microorganisms. To kill them, we are doing that process. Okay. Disinfection means to kill or make the water to be free from the pathogens. We have to do some process that is called disinfection. The chemical is being used for that particular process are called a disinfectant. Chlorine based components are in general people are using for this disinfection process. What the water we are consuming, so far we called Manjira water, that is also disinfected water only. But one thing, infection will be happening at any time. Okay, if the temperature and the other things, environment will be favorable to the growth of microorganism, it will be infected or contaminated at any time without any mixing of sewage or industrial effluent. So what people are doing after disinfection, also certain level of chlorine supposed to be maintained to stop or prevent the infection process, not disinfection, infection process. 0.2 to 0.3 milligram per liter or ppm level of chlorine is maintained in water always, which will be preventing the further infection or infection of any microbes. Whatever the water we are getting, that water also it contains 0.2 to 0.3 milligram per liter of chlorine. My question is, if it is more than that level, what will happen? If it is less than that, what will happen? Now you could answer, I know. This is what I'm asking is general knowledge question. If it is less than 0.2 to 0.3 milligram per liter means the water will be easily amenable to the contamination. So that is the problem. If it is more than that level, what will happen?
The smell will come, ma'am.
Yeah, chlorine will come. Because of that, what is the problem?
The level of fluoride will increase, ma'am. This results in.
My God, that increasing is only the problem now. What is?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question, ma'am? Can you repeat the question?
Actually, I told you when we are doing the disinfection process, for the disinfection, people in general use chlorine and chlorinated compounds. Okay. So once we have done, whatever the pathogen or microorganism is there in water will be totally killed. It will be free from the pathogens or microorganism. That is pure water. It is ready to drink. Now, we consider, just for an example, I will tell you, consider we are getting the Manjira water, they are doing the disinfection process, and immediately they are not sending. It takes 2 to 3 days to distribute to our endpoint. So meanwhile, the 2 to 3 days gap the water may be contaminated. There is a possibility. It is possible. We cannot say may. It is possible to contaminate. To prevent that contamination, people are keeping 0.2 to 0.3 milligram per liter of chlorine in water, which will be helpful for prevention of further growth of any microorganism or contamination. For that, throughout the world, 0.2 to 0.3 milligram of chlorine per liter of water is being maintained for drinking water. If it is less than that level, the water will be contaminated easily. If it is more than that level, what will happen? That is my question.
We consume such water, we get the diseases from fluorosis, chloriasis and all.
Fluorosis is
Ma'am, it is not good for skin and hair.
It is not good for
Skin and hair.
What, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm not getting the point, ma'am. Sorry. Once again, please.
Ma'am, in swimming pool, they use the more
bromine.
Chlorine. That's why it's not good for skin and hair.
Okay, human ear. When they are using bromine, okay, when they are using bromine, it is correct. Swimming pool and all, they are not using chlorine. They are using some other chlorine, bromine, iodine. These three are fluorine. All the four are halogens. Among all the halogens are having, yes.
Ma'am, if it is in more amount, it might not be good for, consuming. There might be some symptoms like vomiting or skin issues, something like that, ma'am.
Okay, I won't get the answer. I will come to the point. That is generalized on the specific answer is it will directly affect our intestine because chlorine is, we know that it is highly corrosive in nature, isn't it? 0.2 to 0.3 milligram per liter when present for kids to adult people, it will not make any sort of problem in health-wise. But the level is increased even 1 ppm also, it will affect our intestine hardly. Since chlorine is highly corrosive in nature. Understood? No one is not.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Thank you. Okay, this is the problem. Now where we went, what madam said, all the halogens can be used for disinfection process. Chlorine is only can be used for water, drinking water purpose. Other halogens are making some which impart some color or smell. For example, for swimming pool cleaning, they are using bromine, not chlorine. If it is there, no problem. The same thing will use it for drinking water treatment. The water cannot be used because bromine cannot be digested by human intestine. Understood? Okay, you're not understanding. Leave it. Then okay, when we come to okay, this is very, very important parameter when we are considering about the chlorine. And I will explain in disinfection unit, this chlorine, how it is react with the organic substances which are present in the water and how it makes the complex compound in the water. Because of that, what impact will be there in water quality that we will discuss when we will have the lesson on disinfection. Okay, the next important parameter is total solids. Once they are getting the water for analysis, first they will check the pH in chemical analysis. After checking the pH, next they will do total solids. What is meant by total solids? We will go little fast. But this lesson is only the lesson will give the overall knowledge about the water quality. That's what Okay, what is meant by total solids? What noise is there, please?
Dalia, mute yourself.
My God. Okay, what is meant by total solids? You just think and answer. Now we have water. We are talking about the water quality or water characteristics, and we have talked about the pH and physical characteristics, hardness, chlorides, dissolved oxygen, chemical oxygen demand, and biological oxygen demand. Now I am asking about what is meant by total solids. Total solid is one of the parameters to be analyzed in water and wastewater. So what could be the total solids?
It could be the summation of all the solids dissolved in.
Okay, fine. Which is something like whatever it may be, the inorganic and organic substances dissolved, suspended, and colloidal forms are present in the water. That gives an idea about total solid. Totals from the total solids, it could be decided that how it could be the water. If the total solid concentration only will be decided or divided into other parameter in the form of oxygen.
Dalia madam,
biological oxygen.
Ma'am, Dalia madam speaker is on, I guess.
And all other inorganic substances. So the first indication, if it is more than 500 milligram per liter or ppm, we can say the water is not potable. If it is actually, it will be more than that level only, all source of water. If it is more than 1000 ppm, means it is supposed or it must be treated with important treatment. That what are the treatment which is based on the chemical and organic and inorganic constituents. So the total solid means it is total of or sum of all the organic and inorganic solids or substances present in water. How will we find out the total solid? This is water sample. You wanted to get the total solids content in water. How you can get the total solids content? How do you analyze? How do you get it? Okay, you take some known quantity of sample. You evaporate, start heat at 100 degrees centigrade. At that temperature, only water can be evaporated. The rest of the substance cannot be evaporated. So you completely evaporate that water. So whatever the organic and inorganic substances are presented, it will be dried off and it makes a residue in a container. You can be using any porcelain container or glass container, but you have to heat it at uniform temperature of 100 or plus or minus 5 degrees centigrade in a enclosed container like muffled furnace. You can use hot air oven also, but the temperature should not be fluctuated. It keeps at a constant temperature of 105 degree or 110 degree also, no problem. You have to know the volume of sample or weight of the sample and the weight of that container, empty container. Once all the water molecule will be evaporated, only the substances will be making as a residue or dried powder which will be sticked on that container. You weigh that the kind of weight of the substance, which gives the total solids content in the water. Did you get my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the total solid. Then from that you can identify suspended solid, colloidal solids, dissolved solids. All those things you can calculate. Dissolved solids can be calculated by filtration process. Suspended solids will be heating at little more than that temperature. It can be total solids be more than.
Ma'am, but this can be done for a small quantity, not for a large quantity.
From the small quantity, it will give the result. Okay, you have to mix well and take the sample.
Okay, ma'am.
Understood. So you should not put the human body in the water. Don't ask me then how it impacts the total solids, please. Okay, that can be removed by normal filtration process or sedimentation process. If human body or animal, any other animal body or any plant material is there, it will be screened out by making use of screens. I will tell what is meant by screening, what is meant by filtration. Okay. So after some of the physical tests over, when we are coming into the chemical test, the water is supposed to be looking like a water. Then only we have to undergo. So in the river, branches of trees, plants, and animal hair, animal dead body, human dead body, clothes, everything will be there. That water we'll take for analysis also. Those things we have to be screened out. Only normal water we have to be used for this kind of analysis. Okay. Then what is meant by hardness? As I told you already, is that carbonate and bicarbonate ions of calcium and magnesium are called hardness. If this concentration, you might be knowing that all of you are having in the water filter. When they are coming, they are telling TDS. What is meant by TDS?
Total dissolved solids.
Dissolved solids.
And I know that all my students are very good. Immediately will answer. Those dissolved solids are in what form it is available in water? We are all thinking that, and they are coming and they are telling that TDS this much, TDS that much, and how much they are keeping for drinking water. What is the standard or optimum level of hardness for drinking water?
Will be in parts per million.
Parts per million with milligram per liter, both are same only. How many milligrams per liter? How many ppm? They are maintaining some level, or they will have
50 to 150, ma'am.
50 to 150.
Ma'am, 50 to 100.
50 to 100. Anyone else? So the TDS is there in water when you are using. It will keep on increase or it will keep on reduce in the unit.
Increasing, ma'am.
Increasing. Why it is increasing?
Ma'am, the solids will be starting to double, no, ma'am, if more water is being added.
From where? Okay. Now I understand what kind of unit you have. And one. Actually, we are having the filter. Where the dissolved solid is being controlled in the filter system?
What did you ask? Ma'am can't understand.
Actually,
can you please mute yourself?
Somebody is disturbing, ma'am.
We can't do anything. If I want to mute means I can mute everyone. That will not be good, I feel. Okay, I can do. The question is, you know, the people are controlling the filtration unit in terms of TDS only at home for drinking water purpose, isn't it? No other parameter they are checking, isn't it? They have not checked pH. They have not checked whatever the parameter I said. They are checking only TDS. That means total dissolved solids. Whatever I said, that is the total solids and total dissolved solids, both are almost the same only. What these people are thinking, this total dissolved solid, it is more means that the salt content of the water is more. If it is less means it is less. Obviously, it is like that. But they are considering in terms of only hardness and alkalinity. These two only, not only the parameter to assess the water quality. Now my question is, this TDS, did you understand? In your water filter, they are assessing the quality only in terms of TDS, isn't it? No other parameter they are checking. I am wrong or correct?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In which column of in the water filter system there is a different column for filtration process or purification process? I can say purification is correct term than filtration. Filtration is taking place only in RO column. Rest of the purification is taking place in rest of the column of the water filter. My question is, this TDS is controlled in which part of water filtering system? Answer. Now only I told the answer. That is being taken place only in reverse osmosis column. Reverse osmosis column, what it does? It does the particle size less than 10 microns will be filtered it up, whatever it may be the substance. It may be organic, it may be inorganic, whatever it may be colloidal form, whatever it may be the form, it will be filtered it out. And the rest of the things will be like microorganism, or rest of the organic solids which are all in soluble form will be going through the membrane. So here, whatever the parameter we have discussed, like chlorine, this, that, and all, is they are not how we can check. I told you chlorine is very important. When you are using this what is the municipal water? No problem at all. They themselves are maintaining the chlorine level. We can use it. And what about the other parameter like lead, copper, fluorine, nitrate? How? That is the parameter. But anybody is doing the pH test?
No,
Very good. Anybody is checking the pH test?
No.
Why I am insisting you people try to do hereafter at least. So when you are going for practicals, in the practicals, they are asking you to collect the water from your house, either bore water and bore water and your municipal water. You take the water and you check. You have to analyze all these parameters like what is pH, what is hardness, what is chloride, what is calcium, and pH value. These 4 or 5 parameters you may analyze. From that, you can find out those who are using bore water for water filtration system. You people please check your pH beyond TDS. Then you can understand what could be the quality of water. So why I am stressing when we are talking about the standards of water quality or good quality or drinking water quality, some of the parameters are essential to be considered, but it is not considered commercially. That's what they have given the table here and there. Even if you check in the internet, what is the drinking water quality? The first parameter they would have given is pH. But we never checked the pH. If TDS is giving an indication of only the salt, unwanted salts water. It is not unwanted salt. All the salts, whatever there in the water will be filtered it off. That is not at all good for health. Suppose some of the water supposed to be there like whatever it needs for our health, those solids supposed to be there in water, which is separating out totally calcium, magnesium of magnesium ions in water. But those two are very important for our health. Understood? That's what they are telling. We are maintaining 50 to 100 ppm of or milligram per liter of TDS. TDS that is not in the form of calcium and magnesium, which gives all salts, which contain chloride, this X, Y, Z, everything is there. Understood? So TDS is a parameter which indicates total solids content, total dissolved solid content of water, not only in the form of calcium and magnesium. So whatever the content is there in our calcium, in the form of calcium and magnesium in filtered water, it is not sufficient for our health, especially for bones and teeth.
And nowadays they are using copper ROs. Copper.
Sir, copper actually everybody is it is marketing strategy. Copper
is it really helpful, ma'am? Or?
No, it is useful only because of copper. It is very fungicide and also bactericide, which kills the microorganism if it's there in the water. If you are keeping
but
water,
RO is already doing it, no, ma'am.
RO still you are not understanding. RO is filtering it off the material of size or particle of size 10 micron or below 10 micron size.
Yes. So below, so copper will completely take out.
Copper is a substance. It is not. It is not.
Yeah.
A substance
which
is that unwanted thing, and also which protect the water quality quite a longer period than other materials.
Yeah.
If we drink that water, that will be free from the fungicide and the bacteria. That's what in our winter period, the Rajapal will use that copper container only for keeping the drinking water. Nowadays also people are using the past 10 years, the trend has changed. So whatever still I am insisting, whatever the water we are getting from the filter, which is free from all the metals, that's what we are getting the taste. If whatever the water is very tasty, you can assume that that water does not have all the minerals.
So this MTDS will...
MTDS, it is little maintaining. Little maintaining. What they are doing, unfiltered water or untreated water, they are mixing with the outlet channel. It is mixed. If there is some microorganism, what will happen? It will come. But for that only, the past 3-4 years, they have introduced UV light container. In the container, if UV light is there, the UV light has the capacity to kill all the microorganisms. So it will be free from the pathogens or bacteria or virus. Understood?
Okay, ma'am. Means it kills the viruses and bacteria is what? Okay.
Yeah, which kills microorganisms. That's all. you might be knowing ultraviolet is having the capability to kill any algae. So if you are providing the light in the container, means the water tank, if UV light is there, your water quality will be good. You can drink the water naturally. Wherever the MTDS technique introduced, there they will use UV light. It will be better. Okay, the next one is farnesitol, fluoresitol, iron and manganese. These are all very important ions which gives a taste to the water. If it is overloaded, which impacts some color to the water from yellow to brown color. But because of this RO, that salt also is going away from the water. That's supposed to be in water less than 0.3 ppm. And arsenic, lead, copper, fluorine, those are all the substances supposed to be there in water to some extent. Dissolved oxygen. What is meant by dissolved oxygen? You know what is meant by oxygen. What is meant by dissolved oxygen?
Dissolved oxygen is the
amount of oxygen contained.
Oxygen atoms which is present in the whatever water is going into the
water itself. It is H2O only. But
H2O,
why people
man.
are telling that dissolved oxygen in water? That means some of the oxygen supposed to be presented in water in excess. That is in the form of solubilized form of oxygen in water that will be useful for some activities in water. Okay. So suppose if you analyze the dissolved oxygen content, which gives an idea of oxygen content of water also? No, it is not. Because that oxygen presented in H2 also now. You get my point or not? If it confuses here itself, please stop me. Hereafter I'm going little fast.
Ma'am, explain again, please.
Dissolved oxygen means what I asked. Does it mean that whatever the oxygen is there in H2O or other than that?
Other than that.
It might be other than that. That means some atmospheric oxygen will be dissolved in water. That oxygen is useful for some activities taken place in the water. It could be, this is the concept. So this dissolved oxygen is very, very important.
And you mean the oxygen which is used by aquatic organisms?
Yes.
Is dissolved
Yes.
oxygen, right?
Yeah, we can say yes. So oxygen, that dissolved oxygen is one of the important parameters. If the water content or contains 8 to 10 milligram per liter or ppm of dissolved oxygen, means there will not be any problem of organic pollutant load in water. So you can use that water easily. Suppose if the water dissolved oxygen is less than 8 ppm, means the water is contaminated with organic pollutant, so you have to do some treatment. If the dissolved oxygen content is 0, then what you will say about the water?
The water will be contaminated.
Totally contaminated. Understood? Because there is no free oxygen. That means the water is totally contaminated with
if you have a water body which is having eutrophication, so the dissolved oxygen will be less, ma'am. For that reason, this aquatic organisms will die.
Yes. What exactly happened there? If the dissolved oxygen is less, means the water contains lot of organic matter. Whenever the water organic content is more, means there is a growth of both aerobic and anaerobic microorganism growth is dominated. If it keeps on growing, means what will happen? The oxygen level presented in the water will be absorbed by those microorganisms for their survival. So the total oxygen content of water will be reduced to only the microbes population will be dominated. So that means if the dissolved oxygen content is 0, means which gives an indicator totally the water is polluted and it unfit for any users, human users.
And this algae in the water is basically because of low dissolved oxygen.
Yeah, because they wanted to grow those algae in water to absorb the organic matter which is presented in water to reduce the pollution load. That is one concept. For purification of water, they are doing. Especially water hyacinth is a plant they are growing in water, specifically in a sewage water. What it happens while it growing, it needs food. Microbes also growing. So for that food purpose, they absorb the organic matter from the water. It is growing well. Oxygen level will be reduced. So while after started growing, it will have chlorophyll. It starts to photosynthesis. No issue. Before that reaching that stage, whatever the organic matter present in the water, it started absorb. The water is getting purified. That is the concept of biological method of water purification. I told you somewhere in the class. I forgot. But
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
That is there. That is true. But here you have to understand in water quality parameter, dissolved oxygen is one of the important parameters that should contain 8 to 10 ppm of dissolved oxygen. If it is less than that, it indicates the water is having organic pollutant load. If it's zero means we can assume that or we can confirm that the water is totally contaminated. It is unfit for human use. Understood?
Okay.
Clear? That is very important
Yeah.
question. That's what I am spending this much long time. And the next one is they have not included even in your book, but I will tell you some of the important things about the chemical oxygen and biological oxygen demand. Chemical oxygen demand means the amount of oxygen required for the oxidation of organic matter which is present in the water in the presence of strong chemical oxidizing agent. That means we are giving some external chemicals, the oxidizing agent into the water, which oxidize the organic matter present in the water. Okay. So how many molecules of oxygen is supplied to the water for the oxidation of organic matter, which gives the chemical oxygen demand. That this indicates if 100 to around 500 ppm, if it is there, no problem. If it is less than that, means the water will be purified water, we can say. If it is more than that, the water cannot be used for domestic application. Domestic means you can include both domestic and municipal. Chemical oxygen, similarly, these are all important definitions. Somewhere will be there in your book, don't worry. But try to understand important concept. When you are writing the water quality standard, you have to write all those characters. Biological oxygen demand means which is nothing but the amount of oxygen required for the respiration of a microorganism which is growing in water, and this is being done by 5 days in an anaerobic condition. Then what will be the depletion of oxygen in the water will be estimated in terms of dissolved oxygen, which gives an idea of biological oxygen demand. This biological oxygen demand and the chemical oxygen, there is an interrelation. Always the biological oxygen demand is 1/3 of chemical oxygen demand. So from that they can understand. So either it is only organic load or biological organism is dominated. In which stage that water is lying? It already completely polluted or it is now only started polluting? We can understand from that estimation. And taste, temperature. What could be the temperature for drinking water? Anyone can tell me? Okay, I have asked any wrong question.
No, ma'am.
Everyone is keeping quiet, means what could be the temperature for drinking water? Whatever the water we are drinking, what could be the temperature? It is more than room temperature or less than room temperature?
I think it is less than room temperature.
Less than room temperature.
How much it could be?
It may be around 20 to 25.
My God. What is the room temperature?
Ma'am, 15 to 16 degrees centigrade.
25 to...
Ma'am, what is the temperature of your refrigerated water? In summer, many people are drinking that chilled water. Now, what is the temperature of that water?
Ma'am, 5 degrees centigrade.
Ma'am, I'm till 5 degrees above whatever the room temperature.
Any other number is there?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All of you have answered very good. Okay, the temperature of water Suppose if it is equal to the room temperature, can we drink?
Yes, ma'am.
No, no, ma'am.
We cannot drink. My God, all my students are so studious. Okay, if it is less than means, it is something like a chilled water. Chilled water always not preferable, isn't it? People like to drink. I'm going to tell very important concept. Please try to understand. If the temperature is too much less than the room temperature of water is too much less than the room temperature, the water becomes chilled water. Chilled water drinking is not at all good for any living being, not only for human being. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Chilled water, is it good or bad for drinking?
Bad,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
bad for drinking. Chilled water is not good.
Okay, why it is not good? What will happen if you drink?
So, ma'am, more than it because it is less than the room temperature, even our body will not be able to accept the temperature of the chilled water, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Less than the temperature, that there is more dissolved content of oxygen will be there. That means the microorganism living in that water will be have more. That means it will live. So when we intake the water, that will cause the microbial growth inside the body also.
My God. So what is the optimum temperature for growing microorganisms? Which condition all the microorganisms will be growing there? Under what temperature? Or at what temperature?
And some microorganism can go even the cold, and some microorganism can go in after room temperature also.
No, I'm asking
They
generalized
require
condition.
heat, ma'am. More warm temperatures.
Yeah.
They like growing in.
Actually, I asked the same thing in class also. Why they are keeping the food in refrigerator?
Ma'am, the microorganisms grow when the temperature is more.
Yes, that temperature is what I'm asking.
So,
okay, we are wasting the time. I'll come to the point. Actually, the drinking, we are drinking chilled water. It is all of you the general information. We drink chilled water. What will happen? Whatever the food we are taking, which supposed to contain oil and fat. Without an oil and fat, we should not take food. And also we should not take too much of oil and fats, because fats and oil is required for human body in terms of movements, flexibility, joints, growing of nails, growing of hair. If you think everything, everywhere is supposed to be the surface or base level supposed to be smooth. It maintains some sort of smoothness or lubricance. For that, even for bones also, joints also, same thing. So for that, we need to have some sort of fats and oil. But whatever the fat and oil you are taking along with the food, it has to be digested well in your intestine. If you are taking this chilled water, what will happen? This oil and water are immiscible, isn't it? It won't be miscible. I think you people can understand easily now. It is highly immiscible, which makes that oil and fat will go and deposit on the sides of the intestine. It will not allow that much fast to digest those things. So many talented people will do, if you are taking oily food or non-veg food with fried items, you have to drink little lukewarm water, then the digestion rate will be good. If you are taking this chilled water, which makes immiscible and it will go on, it allows to deposit on the sides of the intestine, it will not allow to digest at the right rate. So taking of chilled water is not at all advised. When we are coming to the temperature of drinking water, the temperature of drinking water advisable rate is supposed to be 1 or 2 degree more than the room temperature will be advisable. But we are not following, we are drinking the water at whatever the temperature is available at atmospheric temperature. That is how much it could be. It could be more than 0.5 to 0.8 or less than 1 degree difference, less than the atmospheric temperature. Clear? Sometimes, if the ventilation is good, the construction of the building is good, sometimes it equals to the room temperature also. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any discrepancy means you can argue with me, no issue. Okay, this is the temperature of the water. Color, what could be the color of water? The color supposed to be pleasant to see. Otherwise, suppose I will give you, I take water in 2 glasses, I'll keep it on the table. One water is looking very pure, that is tasteless. Another water, it is looking like a little green tinge, but that is very tasty water. Which one you prefer to drink now? Tell me. Don't think that the fruit juice comparison, please. I am telling about water only. So immediately should not be, yeah, pista color we add a green will come, so we can prefer to no. Normal water.
Water is
colorless
and tasteless.
Okay. Actually, what is the taste of water? Water is colorless and tasteless. Water is only the good water. That is the general concept. That is correct only. And what is the odor of water? It is free from the water.
It is tasteless, colorless, and odorless, ma'am.
No, ma'am. If it is treated with disinfectant, it will have different odor. Otherwise, it is odorless also.
No, now you people are getting this Manjira water. You would have tasted, you would have smelled, you would have observed. Does it have any sort of color, odor, taste?
No, ma'am.
Then which
Manjira water will have some odor. No?
Really?
Some smell will come, no, man. Manjira water smell. If you see the smell, will.
No. That smell, what is that? Have you drink any water from any spring or springs or any from any temple? The people used to say that is called a tirtham or something. Have you drunk at any time that water?
Yeah, that they will mix the tulsi. They will mix the tulsi leaves and they will give.
God, you people are so excellent. That they are giving from the temple. I'm not telling about that.
Yes, ma'am. That water that we come from hand pumps. If we drink that water, it is actually colorless, tasteless.
So he said he got some point. This Manjira water is having some smell, is telling. What is that smell? I wanted to make the clarification. Yes. That's what I asked you. Did you drink any groundwater from any hill station or from spring or from some temples there in the hill? Means they will take some water from there that is called tirtham or something. That kind of water, any one of you have you tasted?
Yes, ma'am. In Kashmir, I drank from different flowing waters, ma'am.
Bleaching.
What is the taste?
Shalimar Nishad water.
What is the taste of that water?
There are some gardens.
It was nice, ma'am. No taste, but little sweet.
Some sort of, we can say, some aroma will come from that water.
Yes, ma'am.
Those aroma are from the underground, which contain the roots of the plant, as well as these dead animals and plant leaves are there. After decomposing, which mixed with that water, which gives some sort of smell to the water. I can say it is very mild. We could not find out.
Very mild.
Very
but almost
mild.
No taste.
Taste will be there. It depends upon the place. Taste will be there. Some sort of, because that contains some.
Little sweet.
Yeah, sweetness will be there and some little aroma will be there. That is phenolic compound aroma will be there. That only because of this decomposed material will be mixing with that or mixed with that. One reason, and another one is whatever the plant roots are there, from that water is soaked with that, from that also the aroma will come. That aroma is good for health. Clear? I'm saying that water is from the hill station. Don't say the water is coming from Hyderabad, groundwater which has the smell means it is good for health. Don't ask me. Because in all the cities, all the entire groundwater also contaminated.
No, only flowing water is good, no ma'am. If it's stagnant, then it's not good for drinking.
Flowing water from where to where it is flowing, that is also a point. If from Himalaya to flowing it is okay, fine. There also people are going and contaminating the soil. That water also little bit polluted, I think.
Hill stations only, ma'am. Hill stations only where...
Yeah, that water is good. Almost when compared to the surface water, that water is good.
Yes, ma'am.
Taste and color over time. What is meant by turbidity? So the
turbidity means
frothy nature, ma'am.
Whitish. Some.
What is
some whitish type? Turbid means some. It looks like some crystalline. Means,
Actually,
Ma'am,
turbidity means
how much clear is the water, ma'am? Like,
yes.
yes. How
Very
much
good.
amount of light can pass through it?
Yes, exactly. Scientifically, she
Yeah,
decided. Yeah, very good. Actually, water is supposed
correct.
to be transparent, isn't it? It's supposed to be very highly transparent material. But if it is not that much transparent when you are passing the light or allowing to pass the light inside the water, if some sort of scattering is taken place inside, means we can understand that some particles are inside in water. So that is called a turbidity. Turbidity means which is something like the water is having some sort of clearness or apparent color or capacity of appearance that will be damaged by the presence of some sort of material, which we cannot say what sort of material, any organic substance, inorganic substance, or by floating material degradation, either by microorganism or clay, silt, finely divided sand material, anything it could be. Only the thing is which makes the substance or water to reduce its transparency. That is called turbidity. Turbidity mainly caused in water by that floating material slowly it will degrade and it releases small particles and it goes on degrading. We could not find out the particles. That is the reason why water is getting the turbidity. What is color? I told you. What is the color of the water? It is colorless.
Water is
But if the color comes in water means due to the reason. What could be the reason for coloring of water? I told you that when
some kind of algae or something like that, ma'am.
No. For this we cannot say. I will tell you that is also a reason, but at what stage it will be the reason.
Ma'am, scattering, ma'am, is it absorption or scattering of light, something like that?
No. Color means it is imparts by some substances. As I told you already, if iron and manganese content is there in water, which gives it both taste and color to the water. Okay, some good taste we are experienced from the water means this iron and manganese presented in water, we can assume it is important also. If the content of these two or more mean which gives light yellow to brown color tinge in water. And also beyond that, if any the industrial effluent, have you seen industrial effluent, any one of you? In the wastewater which is generated from the industry, it is called effluent.
Yes.
The wastewater it is
some greenish,
yes,
greenish type it will come, ma'am.
Greenish you have seen. Okay. Anybody else?
Brownish, ma'am.
Brownish.
Yeah.
Brownish, ma'am. That sugarcane industry, no, that I can say.
Yes. Correct only. Durkesh, where you have seen green color water?
Ma'am, I have seen in books only, ma'am.
My God.
Good one.
Ma'am, some
in books
water
it will show
they'll
green
have
color
foam
only,
also, ma'am. Foam it will be coming from water.
Yeah. That is depending upon the process.
That is also industrial water only. The foam will be formed and it will be very blackish color.
Yeah, okay.
Delhi, ma'am, in Yamuna River, no, this foam will come during festive season.
We are also, ma'am, near Begumpet. Near the tank one also, foam will be seen.
That is not industrial wastewater. That is from our...
yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, we come to the industrial wastewater. That is very important part which I am going to tell. All the industrial wastewater which gives the color from pale color to dark brown color. This is the range. In this range, different industries are making different color. That based on the industry, the color and the darkness and the thickness, everything is changed. Why? What is the reason for this color? All the plant material or animal material which contain phenolic compound. These phenolic compound only which imparts the color to the water in such a state. Clear?
And this is like phenolphthalein indicator, man. Just what
no, phenolene where phenolphthalein is different. This is
different,
something okay, totally different. Okay, this is mix.
Okay.
That is separate. Okay.
Normally for indicators we use no, ma'am.
Yeah, phenolphthalein indicator. Phenolphthalein is different.
Methyl
Ma'am, phenolic compounds means aromatic, ma'am? Is it
Yes,
aromatic?
yes. It is not only single aromatic, it is double, triple also. But the basic compound is single ring of phenolic compound. So
Okay.
that
Phenols.
Yeah,
Its functional group is phenols.
phenol means it is a single aromatic compound. Somebody is telling something, but your voice is not clear. Understand? Okay, let me continue that. Please listen me. Very important thing I'm telling. All the industrial effluent which is in the scale of pale to dark brown, this color imported by the only phenolic compounds. Phenolic means don't think that is the single ring aromatic compound which contain many also, 3, 4 also, like naphthalene, many
benzene, ma'am, benzene.
Benzene is not a phenolic. After OH or some other group joined only, that became a phenolic.
Aromatic only. Benzene, that's all.
Benzene, ma'am, hydrocarbon.
Okay.
Okay, phenolic means with the benzene ring, something else supposed to be attached.
Okay.
Then only it became phenolic.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So that is called phenolic compound. Then these are all the main reason for impart the color into the water and including wastewater. The wastewater generated from the industry is called effluent. The same thing is generated from the domestic or municipal activity, that is called sewage. Now we are talking about only the drinking water. Clear? Then we'll come to the chemical and biological test. Physical test is over about color, taste, odor, and turbidity, isn't it? Now chemical test and biological test. This chemical and biological test is supposed to be carried out in the laboratory only. So there we have to do some sort of test to estimate the level of some chemical elements as well as the population of microorganism or strength of microorganism. The main tests are called pH test, hardness test, dissolved oxygen test, COD test, BOD test, and alkalinate test. These are all the chlorine tests. These are all the common tests to be carried out in the laboratory. And in terms of biological tests, generally people are doing what is the B. coli or E. coli concentration along with some pathogens. What is meant by E. coli? I will tell later. I don't want to waste the time. Now we'll come to the point of pH. Now, sometimes people have asked about describe or note, write a note.
Ma'am, your voice is not audible, ma'am.
Ma'am, your voice.
Can't hear you, ma'am.
Hello. मैडम आवाज आ रहा?
नहीं आ रहा. Your voice is also breaking, Durgesh. Your voice is also breaking.
Okay.
Now you people check. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Audible, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know what could be the reason. Either signal has gone or what. I could not understand. Sorry to everyone. Hello. Okay, what is meant by pH? We'll go a little fast. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
What is meant by pH?
Ma'am, water, how much acidic it is or how much basic it is?
Okay, water, how much it is? Okay, fine.
Ma'am,
Then
it is presence of hydrogen, ma'am. It is the presence of hydrogen.
potential of hydrogen. Potential of hydrogen. Okay, that also correct. Then that much only. Okay, fine. Actually, exactly if we define that means pH means it is a potential of hydrogen or hydroxyl ion concentration. Potential or concentration both are same.
It is
Potential of hydrogen
negative logarithm of H plus ion concentration.
That you will define when you are writing. This is when you are coming out the point of water quality standards. No need to define like that. Okay?
Yeah.
You can write either it is a hydrogen or hydroxyl concentration or potential of hydrogen or hydroxyl concentration is enough.
Yeah, ma'am.
Understand? Negative logarithm of hydrogen or hydroxyl ion is also correct. I am not denying that that is wrong. That is also correct. Okay, good. Yeah. The hydrogen ion concentration or hydroxyl ion concentration of that is called pH value, which is measured of the degree of acidity or alkalinity of any water. Okay. The practical value of pH is varied from 0 to 14, at the middle 7. If it is 7 to 0 means that acidity is increased, and when it reaches 0, that is maximum. When it is from 7 to 14, that alkalinity is started increasing. At the point of 14, the alkalinity is maximum. At the midpoint, that is called 7, that is called neutral stage of pH of any substances. Clear? So, now we are talking about the public water supply. If the pH of the water is in the range of 6.5 to 8.5, this is a good range for consuming. If it is neutral also, people are telling that neutral pH water can be consumed, but it is not. It is not good, it is not advisable. The necessity of carrying out this pH value is only for determining the alkalinity or acidity of water. And if this test will be carried out by electrometric method or colorimetric method, in your practical, you people are going to do this pH test by electrometric method. And you can identify what is the pH. And not only this method, some pH paper test method also is available, that are old method. If you put that pH paper which develops some color, from that you can understand that, yeah, this water is contaminated, or what is the pH of that range. Either it is this range or that range, you can identify from that. Understood? Is it clear? Yes. Yeah.
Clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Suppose in case if the water is pH means, if the water is in acidic condition means, the tuberculosis and the corrosion will be caused when the water is being conveyed. Did you understand from the yesterday's story? If the pH is acidic, if you convey the water through the pipeline, what is the problem?
Corrosion.
Corrosion and tuberculosis.
It will corrode the pipe.
Yeah, very good. If the pH is more than 7, that water is alkaline, I will say. If you consume that water, which result in incrustation, sediment deposits, difficulty in chlorination process, and other biological or physiological effect will be happening on human health. These are all the problem of uses of alkaline water and uses of acidic water. But anyhow, prevent all this problem of acidity and alkalinity, we have to maintain the pH between 6.9 to 8.5 for potable water. Is it clear? Okay, then because pH is very important, sometimes they will ask a write a note on pH. And which I am going to talk about now, hardness. That is also very important. Sometimes they have asked a small question about the hardness also. What is meant by hardness? As I told you that hardness, which is nothing but the amount of
magnesium, calcium amount.
Calcium and magnesium, carbonate and bicarbonate salts. We can define in another way. Carbonate and bicarbonate of calcium and magnesium is called hardness. There are two types of hardness. One is permanent hardness, another one is temporary hardness. This permanent hardness is due to the presence of chlorides and sulfates and nitrates of calcium magnesium. Temporary hardness means carbonate and bicarbonate of calcium and magnesium. That is only the difference. But permanent hardness is known as non-carbonate hardness. Non-carbonate hardness is quite difficult to remove. This temporary hardness can be easily removed by heating. This practical also you are going to do in your practical classes. How measure the P hardness level of bore water as well as from the municipal water. Now my question is, if you do the test of both for the bore water as well as tap water, that is from a supply of Manjira, which water will contain more hardness?
Groundwater.
Groundwater. Why?
Because the dissolves solids.
Yes, correct. Because we are getting the treated water only. Whatever the solids will be there will be eliminated by number of tests. So the municipal water which contain less hardness than the bore water is coming out of a ground that all the dissolved solids, whatever said that is correct, will be mixed with that. So the hardness content will be more than the municipal water. So this hardness of water is more means when you are using the water, what are the problem you may face? You people would have
skin, drying of skin.
Okay, drying of skin. Then which consume more soap without forming of later. If it's something like that, it will be you are buying the soap which is not forming any foam or feather. Will you use that soap continuously? No. But this at the same time, the water is contain lot of hardness also, which gives or shows the same sort of result. That is the problem. And if we are using this hard water for industrial application, because we know that which contain lot of calcium and magnesium salts, then which makes the what will sell it? If more salt is there in water, if you are using that water for industrial application, what problem will come?
It may damage the I mean, say maybe improper functioning of the machines, ma'am. I mean to say the salt will can we say scaling, madam? Scaling.
Yeah, that is only the answer which gives.
It will form the layers of.
Yes.
It gives the layer of carbonates of calcium, bicarbonate.
Yesterday we have talked about this. What is it? I forgot that term. After corrosion, we have seen one term, na? Tuberculosis. Tuberculosis problem. No.
Yeah, ma'am. Tubercules. Yeah, tubercules.
Yes, that problem will form. Okay. So because of the hardness of water, it consumes more soap, and also which objects. If it consumes more use soap, means people will not prefer to use. You will use for large scale industrial application, which forms a scale in the boiler and other water piping system. And especially when the people are using in textile industry, which is spoil entire bleaching process, then we cannot use different colors clothes, and it produces a lot of clogging in the pipes also. So these are all the problem when we are using the hardness of water. Sorry, when we are using the hard water. Okay. So what is the drinking water range of this hardness? It's supposed to be moderately soft, means 50 to 100 ppm it is ideal. And sometimes if the water is slightly hard, between 150 to 150 ppm hardness also can be accepted. It is not problematic. But ideal is between 50 and 100 ppm. Understand?
50 to 100 ppm.
Yes. 150 is also is there, means no problem. It is not problematic, but not adhesive. Understood? This is about the hardness. If you have any doubt, you can clarify right now itself. Then now we are going to the dissolved oxygen. About the dissolved oxygen, already I told you what could be the dissolved oxygen, how much it could be. If it is more means what, less means what is the optimum I say. Then bacteriological test. That is very, very important test when we are considering the drinking water quality. This test which indicates whether the water is contaminated with any pathogenic microorganism or not. For good quality water anyhow, it should not contain any sort of bacterial contamination. But in such a situation, I am going to give some important information to you. Some of the bacteria are supposed to be presented in our body, then only it is good. That bacteria is called E. coli or B. coli. What is the role of that organism? That is also comes under pathogen only. But the absence of B. coli or E. coli in some of the water clearly proves that absence of pathogenic microbacteria or bacteria in that water. But B. coli are harmless, which is important for the human being, not only human being. All warm-blooded organisms, in all animals, this E. coli bacteria is supposed to be there in intestine. If it is not there, then it takes intestine will not work properly for the digestion process. So E. coli is supposed to be presented in our body. If it is presented, it will be going well. It is not presented, it is making the system complicated. So all the bacteria are good or bad? Hey, this is
Depends
very
on the
important.
bacteria, ma'am.
Some bacteria are good, ma'am. Those are called probiotics.
Bacteria are not good. You cannot generalize. Bacteria are not good. Some of the bacteria, few bacteria are good for warm-blooded organism, including human being, and rest of them are
But
dangerous.
probiotics we have, no, ma'am.
That is okay. That is for some of them are few.
In curd also we have bacteria, no, ma'am?
Lactobacillus and staphylococcus.
Yeah.
Hey, my God, I am telling only few, not all. So then you can say this microbacterium also it is good for health.
Not all, ma'am. Very
Then
few.
you said among all the bacteria, I asked bacteria is good or bad for health. You would answer that some of the bacteria are good, some of the bacteria are bad. Or
Yeah,
you
he
can
said that only, ma'am.
Yeah, very good. Then I couldn't get. So what are the good bacteria? Among one of them is B. coli, E. coli, and lactobacillus, whatever you said, those are all good. Okay, and the rest of them are spoiling or killing them. Those are all not good. So we have to say that when the people are doing that pathogenic test in water, there is a possibility to present E. coli also. If E. coli, B. coli both are same. If it is there, the water is being characterized as the water is contaminated. Why? But at the same time, I only said this E. coli is not a pathogenic bacteria or dangerous bacteria. It's supposed to be presented in all warm-blooded organisms, including human being, which will be useful for the proper functioning of intestine, I said. But if the same thing when it is present in water, I am saying that water is polluted or contaminated. Why it is happening like this? The same bacteria in different places, it will have different role. Why? What is the reason? Did you get my point?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, what?
Maybe the environment, the way the bacteria survive.
I answered already. From my question itself, I said answer. By wrong. By mistake, I said answer. Any one of you, please?
Maybe they...
Okay. Let me answer. We should not waste our time. Class is going to be ended. If actually E. coli or B. coli, it is there in our intestine. I told you, we have introduced anything to our body to develop that. Are we introducing anything inside? No. Isn't it? We are not doing anything for growth or for the existence of that B. coli or E. coli in our intestine. By natural process, by the grace of God, that is introduced in our body, it is growing and it is doing that systematic work systematically. So that's what our digestion is taking place. At the same time, the same set of microbes will be coming from outside, means that will become a pathogen. Because the source of development is different. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, appa. Very hardly and forcefully people are agree. Very good. So any doubt till now? This is very, very important lesson. You people realize and think that what will be learned from this lesson today and yesterday, from today's and yesterday's class. I have talked about what is water quality, what is physical, chemical, and biological characteristics of water quality, that is based on the book content, extra one or two information I have included. If the people will ask whatever I have explained yesterday, that physiochemical characteristics or water quality or water quality standard, for all the questions, the same answer is from the same lesson only. This is one of the important lesson. The entire lesson they may ask us a single question, or part of the lesson they may ask us a same question. Both short and longer long question can be.
Ma'am, these standards of this ISA standards of drinking water, drinking purpose are there. So all the values we need to remember, ma'am, or
you remember few important values. All the values cannot, but parameter you can remember, no?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, you have to remember pH. You have to remember total solids. Hardness you should know. Some dissolved oxygen you should know, isn't it? Anyway, B coli, E coli supposed to be nil, you can write. Some parameter try to write.
Yeah.
Okay, clear? Do you have any doubt on this lesson till now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so what is the time now? 11:54. Shall we only 6 minutes more? Can we have 5-10 minutes break for this class, for the next class?
Yeah.
Sorry, ma'am. What did you ask?
Ma'am, 12:30 we are having one more class.
That is my class only, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Not 12:30, ma'am. I will take off. Now it is 12 now. Can we have at 12:30 or before that? That is my question now.
12:30, ma'am.
12:30, ma'am. 12:30 is fine, ma'am.
We'll eat something, ma'am. Sunday, no?
Oh, okay. Okay, 12:30 we'll have class. If you have any question or any interaction you need, now you can do for 5 more minutes.
Ma'am, hardness, it is there. Hardness is the property of water on account of which it consumes soap without forming lather freely.
Yes. I told you, it consumes more without forming lather. Tell me.
Okay. So, soaps and detergents are there, ma'am. While using soaps and detergents, detergents. So, it forms Michelle, no? Michelle, MICLLE. That will also affect the hardness of water, ma'am.
17.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah, I remember in my 12th or 10th.
Technically like that. Technically, you should, because in your book they have given first line like that only. Consume more soap without forming lather. That is not hardness, means which forms are in the presence of carbonate and bicarbonate ions of calcium and magnesium is called hardness. If the hardness is more, means it consumes more soap without formation of lather, you have to write that.
Okay, ma'am.
Understood?
Okay.
Then what is the permanent hardness? That is fluoride, nitrate, and sulfates of calcium and magnesium is called hardness. There are two types of hardness you can write. One is permanent hardness and temporary hardness. Temporary hardness means carbonate, bicarbonate ions of calcium and magnesium. Permanent hardness means fluoride, sulfate, and nitrates of calcium and magnesium ions. Temporary hardness can be easily removed. Permanent hardness, it is quite difficult to remove, but both can be removed. Permanent hardness is energy consuming process. And temporary hardness, it does not consume that much energy to remove. So it is energy intensive, means economic intensive also. Then when you are using the problem, what are the issues you will face when you are using at domestic level and industrial level and textile industry, how it is happening, when you are conveying the water, what it will happen. All these points. Along with that, what is the hardness level for drinking water? That's all enough. Clear?
And this alum will be there, ma'am. Alum.
Yeah, alum. I'm going to talk to you about alum next. Yes, tell me. Tell me.
Next time. Okay. No, what is the exact?
What is the exact?
Does it affect the water hardness? No.
No. Water hardness,
Alum.
it will not affect. No. Hardness and
Only
alum
it will pure.
totally different. Even
Okay.
activated carbon can reduce the hardness level, but alum will not reduce.
Okay.
Clear? The particles, those who are suspended and some of the dissolved solids can be removed by alum. That is correct. But the size of the particle of hardness and the size of the particle of alum will not be matched to remove it. But activated carbons to some extent will reduce the hardness. Both are coagulant and absorbent, we can say. Is it clear? Okay, thank you. Hello.
Thank you, ma'am.
Class will start at 12, no? 12:30, no?
12:30, yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.